I will call the fifth paper presenter, Sinoj Anthony, who is from Lovely Professional University, whose topic is on. Sinoj, are you there?
Yes, madam. Good morning. Very good morning, madam.
Very good morning. Your topic is on hyperreality and postmodern Indian literature, conflicts between fake and real in post-colonial era. Please continue. Please.
Okay, I think very good morning to Fernando. Yes, I think I am. Yes, I hope that, madam. I hope that I am audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, my topic is this. Before that, I am just going to present my paper. So, I hope that the presentation is visible to you. Yes, I hope that the presentation is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Anyhow, first of all, I give my special thanks to the concerned department for conducting such a webinar and also this conference. Yeah, I'm very glad to present my paper in this particular conference. My topic is this: hyperreality and postmodern Indian literature, conflicts between fake and real in post-colonial era. So I am Sinoj Anthony. I am a research scholar from Lovely Professional University, Phagwada, Punjab, and I reside in Kerala. I am from Kerala. So what is hyperreality? So first of all, let me tell you about the hyperreality is the inability of consciousness to distinguish reality from a simulation of reality, especially in technologically advanced societies. So now at present, we are dealing with the science and technology, and even everything is related with our technology only. Even today we conduct our classes, we conduct this particular seminar or this conference through technology. So it is closely associated, this hyperreality is closely associated with this technology. And sometimes the so we have was first introduced by French sociologist and postmodern critic Jean Baudrillard in his work Simulacra and Simulation. He defined it as it is the generation by models of a real without origin or reality. That means a hyperreal. So we know about Jean Baudrillard. Okay, he is a famous French philosopher, and he introduced this particular term, and it is closely associated with his particular work Simulacra and Simulation. And there he explains about the fake realities and identities of this technological world. So, according to him, there are four successive phases of the image. The first phase is called it is the reflection of a profound reality, and second phase it masks and denotates a profound reality, and third phase it masks the absence of a profound reality, and the fourth one it has no relation to any reality whatsoever. It is its own pure simulacrum. So that is what happens with the hyperreality. So firstly it appears as the reflection of a reality, then it masks the reality, then the reality is missing there. So we can say there is the absence of a particular reality, and at the end it forms its own simulacrum. So it forms its own reality. So that is why it is known as hyperreality. So in the first case, the image is a good appearance, representation is of the sacramental order. In the second, it is an evil appearance, it is of the order of malfeasance. In the third, it is of the order of sorcery. In the fourth, it is no longer of the order of appearances but of simulation. The last phase is regarded as the hyperreality. According to Baudrillard, today real is replaced by hyper. So if we look everywhere, so wherever the hyperreality appears, we can see that the element of hyperreality can be seen in almost all human areas like media, news, advertisements, film, literature. Particularly we are people dealing with literature, and especially in fiction, science fiction and all, we can see a lot of elements of hyperreality. Art and architecture, television, economics, digital games, and even in philosophy. So everywhere the influence of hyperreality is seen as well as it is visible. According to Baudrillard, the signs and symbols of modern world play a vital role to design and define the reality. For example, the excessive use of Photoshop replaced the real image to hyperreal image, and hyperreal image influence and attract the people. So today we use social media, and social media, in every social media platform we can see the use or the exaggeration of this artificiality, or we can say that it is as a hyper reality. Baudrillard, as a best example, he says about Disneyland. Disneyland is a perfect model of all the endangered orders of simulacra. It is first of all a play of illusions and phantoms, the parades, the frontier, the future world, etc. This imaginary world is supposed to ensure the success of the operation, but what attracts the crowds the most is a doubt the social microcosm, the religious miniaturized pleasure of real America, of its constraints and joys. That means, so all the miniature forms we will feel that it is real. And even if we analyze in the literature as well as in the film and all, we can see that a lot of characters, fictional characters, are appearing as real characters, and even the children, they admire even the characters of a particular novel or a story. Now I'm just going to apply this hyper reality in postmodernism. So before that, let me say something about postmodernism. Postmodernism is a theoretical approach that started after the Second World War, particularly during the Cold War in the late 1960s and early 1960s countries. In the beginning, it was started with architecture and humanities. It accepted and promoted entire culture, belief and practices, emphasizes to personal cultural experiences, and practice. It resisted the domination and leading of science. Now in Indian literature, how can we find this? Okay, madam. If we analyze the Indian literature, we will be able to know that after 1980s, the postmodern fiction revealing all the details more than post-World War effects of colonial circumstances influenced Indian literature. Indian English fictions have got wide acceptance and publicity across the world. After the publication of Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things in 1997, the early Indian postmodern fictional writers such as R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao, Multaj Anand, Arun Joshi, Anda Desai, and a few other well-known writers were wide raised for their fictional writings, and these figures took the Indian English literature to its heights. In India, post-1980 is described as a postmodern period. After 1980s, India realized itself as a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multilingual, post-colonial and postmodern nation. So let me go to the last section, conflict between fake and real in post-colonial Indian literature. R.K. Narayan's The Guide is a best example for post-colonial elements in Indian literature. He is a post-colonial Indian writer. We can see that his novels were distinguished between the traditions and the values on the one side and modern Western values on the other side. Post-colonial literature tries to promote the traditional culture, the Western impact of Indian culture, and life is highly depicted in his novel. Malgudi is a fictional place where most of the stories are taking place, and the readers feel that it is a real place. And in this way, if we analyze in many other novels as well as other fictional writings, we can see the conflict between the real and the fake. Sometimes the readers will feel that the fake is real, and that way it happens. So that about my topic. In the postmodern literature as well as in post-colonial literature, we can find out the hyper-real elements. So anyhow, once again, I give my regards and thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you everyone. Particularly, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So